What if I told you that this very video did not even exist in your physical reality until you unconsciously directed your attention toward it to find the answer you desperately need? You meticulously built a plan, you expected a specific outcome, and suddenly everything fell apart before your eyes. In this video, we will decode the profound mysteries of the quantum field and the observer effect, to reveal why your shattered plans are never a failure. By the end of our journey today, you will completely understand your true, hidden power as the ultimate creator of your reality, and you will see how the universe just saved you. Tell me, have you ever felt like your life was breaking down, only to realize later it was perfectly falling into place? To understand what is truly happening in your life right now, we must step beyond the illusion of the physical world and enter the metaphysical realm of the quantum field. In esoteric terms, the quantum field is not just an empty void, it is a limitless ocean of pure, vibrating potential, an invisible web where every conceivable timeline and possibility exists simultaneously as a fluid wave of probability. Reality, as you know it, remains in this unformed state until an active consciousness interacts with it. This is the true nature of observation. Observation is not merely looking at something passively with your eyes. It is the incredibly potent, active process of your beliefs, emotions, and energetic frequency colliding with the field. When your consciousness focuses intensely on a specific frequency, you force that infinite wave of potential to collapse into a single, solid physical experience. You are not a victim of circumstance, you are the quantum architect. Every moment, your energy is commanding the unformed universe to crystallize into the exact shape of your dominant vibration. Have you ever felt like your entire world was falling apart, piece by piece, right before your very eyes? You meticulously crafted a plan, you poured your heart and soul into a specific outcome, and then, in a blink of an eye, it completely shattered. Society conditions us to view this as a massive failure. We are taught to mourn the loss of our expectations, to feel defeated, and to deeply question our own worth. But what if I told you that this destruction is not a punishment, but a profound quantum intervention? In the realm of quantum physics and consciousness, there are no accidents. When a plan suddenly dissolves, your immediate human reaction is panic. However, from a higher dimensional perspective, this is the exact moment the universe is recalibrating your entire trajectory. Your previous plan was fundamentally flawed because it was built on an outdated version of your energetic signature. It was far too small for what you are actually meant to become. The sudden collapse is the observer effect at work in its most dramatic form. You subconsciously collapsed a new, more expansive wave of probability, and the old reality simply could not sustain the new frequency. It had to break to set you free. Imagine reality not as a single fixed and unchangeable road, but as an infinite web of glowing, interconnected pathways. This is the quantum field, a space of pure potential where every single possible outcome already exists right now. In this vast, limitless field, there is a timeline where your original plan succeeded. But if you could zoom out and look at the entire map of your existence, you would see that that specific timeline eventually leads to stagnation, to a dead end, or to a life that does not fulfill your soul's deepest calling. Your higher consciousness, which operates far beyond the limits of your physical senses, recognized this dead end. By seemingly destroying your current path, your higher self forcefully redirected your awareness. You are literally being pushed off a mediocre timeline and rerouted onto a timeline of absolute mastery. The destruction you are witnessing is merely the friction of changing lanes at the speed of light. You are shifting from a limited human projection to a limitless, quantum manifestation. The old reality is rapidly fading because you are no longer vibrating at its lower density. Let us talk about the concept of energetic mismatch, because this is where the true secret of manifestation lies hidden. Everything in your physical life, from the money in your bank account to the people you surround yourself with, is a direct reflection of your dominant frequency. When you ask the universe for a major upgrade, perhaps you asked for true love, massive financial abundance, or profound spiritual awakening, your internal vibration begins to rise. However, your external reality often takes a moment to catch up to this new internal state. The old plan that just fell apart was constructed when you were vibrating at a much lower frequency. It was a perfect match for the old you. But the new you, the upgraded version of your consciousness, simply cannot fit into that old paradigm anymore. It is like trying to install cutting-edge software onto a 10-year-old computer. The system crashes. Your life crashed, not because you did something wrong, but because you did everything right. Your frequency completely outgrew your environment. The collapse is the ultimate confirmation that your manifestation is working and a new reality is loading. The feeling of devastation that washes over you when things go wrong is a deeply programmed illusion. We are completely addicted to certainty, and when the known falls away, our human ego goes into a state of severe survival mode. But in the realm of quantum creation, you must begin to view this empty space, this sudden void in your life, not as a tragic loss, but as a massive clearing process. You cannot build a magnificent skyscraper on a foundation that is already cluttered with the ruins of a broken house. The universe had to bulldoze your previous attachments to create the necessary physical and energetic space for your true desire to manifest. Think of the law of attraction, not just as a magnetic pull, but as a rigid law of physics. Two objects cannot occupy the exact same space at the exact same time. If your hands are tightly gripping a life that is merely good enough, you literally do not have the physical or energetic capacity to receive a life that is absolutely extraordinary. The plan falling apart was the universe forcefully prying your fingers open so you can finally receive what you truly deserve. What appears to your human eyes as a sudden, tragic collapse is, in reality, a highly orchestrated, deeply calculated quantum event. The intelligence of the field is entirely incomprehensible to the logical mind. It coordinates trillions of microscopic details, aligning people, places, and circumstances across space and time to bring your highest good into physical manifestation. When your plan shatters, you are only seeing one tiny, localized pixel of a massive, universally orchestrated masterpiece. You see a closed door, but the quantum field sees a necessary timeline correction. If you could see the unseen energetic mechanics working behind the scenes, you would not cry over the broken plan. You would fall to your knees in profound gratitude. You would realize that the universe just saved you from years of unnecessary struggle and pain. The breakdown is a divine shortcut. It is bypassing the long, arduous route you thought you had to take and instantly teleporting you to the threshold of your true destiny. Do not judge the cosmic masterpiece while the paint is still wet. The chaos is simply the dust settling from your own powerful timeline jump. Consider the powerful, real-life examples of the observer effect guiding your fate in ways you rarely notice. Think about the job you desperately wanted, the one you prepared endlessly for, only to receive a painful rejection letter. Or remember the relationship you tried so incredibly hard to save, the person you thought was your entire world, who suddenly walked away. In those dark moments, it felt like a catastrophic failure. But look back now with the crystal clarity of hindsight. If you had gotten that job, you would have missed out on the career path that actually brings you joy. If that person had stayed, you never would have met the true love of your life, or you never would have discovered your own unbreakable independence. Those perceived failures were not rejections, they were fierce, undeniable quantum protections. Your higher consciousness collapsed the wave of probability that would have kept you small, forcefully redirecting your energy toward a timeline where your greatest potentials can truly blossom. The universe does not say no. It only ever says that it has something vastly better waiting for you on the next frequency. To truly master your reality, you must profoundly understand the deep physics of letting go. In the quantum field, resistance is the only thing that creates lasting pain. When a plan begins to crumble, our immediate human instinct is to fight, to manipulate, and to force the broken pieces back together. We grip tightly to the dying reality, desperate to maintain our illusion of control. But this desperate grasping is a frequency of severe lack. It signals to the quantum field that you do not trust the unseen process, and therefore, you continuously collapse realities that mirror that exact fear and struggle. Surrender, on the other hand, is not weakness. Spiritual and quantum surrender is the highest form of active manifestation. It is the profound, unshakable knowing that the collapsing structure is simply no longer needed. When you let go of the need to control the path and simply trust the energetic unfolding, you remove all resistance from your field. You become completely fluid, allowing the universe to carry you effortlessly across the void of the unknown and safely deposit you onto the shores of your new, upgraded timeline. Letting go is the ultimate catalyst for the next quantum leap. As you navigate this period of apparent chaos, you will begin to notice the universe communicating with you directly and continuously. This communication comes in the form of synchronicity, which is the ultimate feedback loop of the quantum field. Synchronicity is not a mere coincidence. It is a mathematical certainty of timeline alignment. When your old plan shatters and you bravely step into the unknown, the field starts dropping magical breadcrumbs to show you the way. You might see repeating numbers on a clock, hear a complete stranger casually mention the exact thought you were just having, or stumble upon a hidden book that holds the precise answer you have been desperately seeking. These synchronicities are literal glitches in the matrix of your old reality. They are undeniable proof that your consciousness has successfully linked with a higher, more aligned frequency. They are signposts planted by your future self, assuring you that even though the path is currently invisible to your physical eyes, you are heading exactly where you need to be. Do not brush these sacred signs off as random occurrences. They are the language of reality responding to your new vibration. Have you ever experienced a sudden, overwhelming sense of familiarity right in the middle of a chaotic or deeply unexpected situation? This feeling is profoundly misunderstood by traditional science. In the realm of quantum metaphysics, this sensation is not a brain glitch, it is the profound experience of remembering the future. When your plans completely fall apart and you are suddenly thrust into an unfamiliar scenario, you might feel a strange, comforting peace, as if you have lived this exact, terrifying moment before. This happens because, on a quantum level, you already have. All possible timelines exist simultaneously in the eternal now. When you experience this deep recognition during a life upheaval, it means your current localized consciousness has briefly intersected with the vast consciousness of your future self, who has already successfully navigated this timeline. It is a powerful validation straight from the field. It is the universe whispering to you that this sudden detour was entirely pre-planned by your soul. You are exactly on schedule. The collapse was written into your original quantum blueprint as the necessary catalyst to awaken your true potential. Let us dive deeper into your vital role as the ultimate creator. To harness the boundless power of the observer effect, You must realize that your observation is not just visual, it is deeply and profoundly emotional. Your emotions are the actual magnetic force that pulls unformed energy into solid physical matter. Your thoughts send the electrical signal out into the quantum field, but your emotions draw the corresponding physical experience back into your life. When a plan falls apart, if you observe the situation purely through the lens of fear, anger, or victimhood, you are powerfully magnetizing more situations that will evoke those exact same terrible feelings. You are commanding the quantum field to serve you more chaos. But what if, in the exact moment of destruction, you chose to feel a profound sense of relief? What if you generated a feeling of deep, unwavering excitement for the great unknown? By radically shifting your emotional state in the face of apparent failure, you short-circuit the old reality loop. You instantly change the magnetic signature of your body, forcing the quantum field to rapidly assemble a new reality that perfectly matches your elevated state of peace and anticipation. Panic is the absolute greatest trap in the process of quantum shifting. When the illusion of security suddenly vanishes, the primitive part of your human brain screams for survival, urging you to take frantic, immediate action to fix the broken plan. But taking action from a state of pure panic is exactly like trying to untangle a delicate, precious necklace by aggressively pulling at the knots. You only make it significantly worse. Frantic action actively traps you in the old probability wave. It solidifies the dense energy of crisis. The ultimate secret of the masters is to cultivate absolute neutrality in the face of external collapse. Neutrality is the quantum zero-point field. It is the sacred space of infinite potential where your true power resides. When everything falls apart and you remain incredibly calm, you become an energetic anomaly. The universe simply does not know how to process a being who is completely unfazed by chaos, so it immediately begins to mold the external world to match your internal stillness. By doing nothing, by simply observing the breakdown without any judgment, you allow the chaotic dust to settle. You allow the highest probability to naturally float to the surface, revealing the brilliant new path you are meant to take. We very often perceive the destruction of our plans as a terrible delay, a painful setback that pushes our dreams further into the distant future. This is a fundamental misunderstanding of quantum time. In reality, what feels like an agonizing delay is actually a profound and necessary process of timeline synchronization. Manifesting a massive new reality involves coordinating thousands of moving parts that you cannot possibly see. The universe is incredibly busy behind the scenes, perfectly aligning the actors, shifting impossible circumstances, and preparing the exact environment required for your ultimate success. If your original plan had rushed forward, you would have arrived at the destination long before the stage was fully set. You would have encountered people who were not yet ready for you, or opportunities that were simply not yet ripe. The sudden halt, the complete breakdown of your schedule, is the universe's way of hitting the pause button on your localized experience while it finishes constructing the masterpiece of your new life. What you bitterly call a delay, the quantum field calls absolute divine timing. You are not being held back. You are being perfectly synchronized with the exact moment of maximum potential. As the old plan vanishes completely and the new reality has not yet fully materialized, you enter a deeply sacred space known as the void. The void is the dark, incredibly empty space between timelines. It is the crucial cocoon phase of your quantum metamorphosis. To the untrained, fearful mind, the void is terrifying because it is completely devoid of familiar landmarks. It feels like floating alone in a vast, dark ocean with no shore in sight. But the void is actually the most fertile, magical space in the entire universe. It is pure, untouched, unformed quantum potential. When you are sitting in the void, your energetic signature becomes highly malleable. Because nothing is distracting you in the external world, your internal focus becomes like a laser beam. This is absolutely not the time to desperately attempt to rebuild the past. This is the time to sit entirely in the stillness and vividly dream the future. The void requires immense, unshakable trust. You must learn to become comfortable with the vast not knowing, fully embracing the emptiness as a beautiful blank canvas. It is strictly within this silent, empty space that the seed of your greatest manifestation is quietly germinating, gathering the immense energetic power required to finally burst into physical form. While you are bravely navigating this transition, you will begin to experience what society blindly calls accidental meetings and sudden, unexplainable insights. You might be sitting alone in a coffee shop, feeling completely lost about your collapsed plans, when a total stranger strikes up a conversation that completely alters your perspective forever. Or you might wake up in the dead of the night with a brilliant, fully formed idea that you never could have conceived through logical human deduction. In the precise framework of quantum mechanics, these are absolutely not accidents. They are direct, highly targeted transmissions from your future self. The version of you who is already living the successful outcome on the new timeline is constantly broadcasting energetic signals backward through time. When your old, rigid structure fell apart, your consciousness finally became open enough to receive these subtle signals. These sudden insights are the exact energetic downloads necessary to build your new reality. The accidental meetings are the crucial human connections programmed directly into the new timeline to rapidly accelerate your growth. Every supposedly random event is a perfectly placed stepping stone designed by the field to guide your feet toward your ultimate destination. It is completely time to fundamentally reconsider how you view the law of attraction. Popular culture teaches you that you must intensely focus on a desire to somehow pull it toward you from some distant, faraway place. But advanced quantum physics reveals a far more magnificent, awe-inspiring truth. You do not pull anything toward you, because absolutely everything already exists right here, right now, in the unified field. You do not magically attract the new reality. You simply shift your consciousness to the exact timeline where that specific reality is already playing out. When your carefully laid plans shattered into a million pieces, it was not a failure of manifestation. It was the sudden, necessary, violent death of the timeline that simply did not contain your desire. The collapse itself was the magical vehicle of your transition. You were instantly transported to a parallel coordinate in the quantum field, where your ultimate dream is a living, breathing fact. The task now is not to try and painfully manifest from scratch, but to simply acclimate your energy to the new environment. You must walk, talk, and breathe exactly as the version of you who is already living on this upgraded timeline. You are not building a new life. You are simply stepping into the magnificent room where it has always been waiting for you. The ultimate, defining test of a master creator is the profound ability to trust the unseen far over the seen. Our human senses are deeply and severely limited. They can only truly perceive the decaying remnants of the past. The physical reality surrounding you right now, the broken plans, the closed doors, the apparent lack, is essentially a holographic echo of your old thoughts and old vibrations. It is exactly like a dead star whose ancient light is just now reaching your physical eyes. The unmanifested reality, the glowing, vibrating potential hovering right now in your quantum field, is actually far more real, vibrant, and alive than the physical circumstances you are currently crying over. To shift successfully, You must radically withdraw your belief in the finality of the physical world. You must completely stop seeking validation from a reality that is already fading into dust. When you can look straight at the ruins of your shattered plan and feel a genuine, deep sense of peace, fully knowing that the invisible architecture of your new life is already perfectly constructed in the field, you have finally mastered the game. You have successfully overridden the grand illusion of matter and claimed your rightful throne as the sovereign architect of your own conscious experience. Your focused attention is the absolute most valuable currency in the entire universe. It is the primary steering wheel of your consciousness. Wherever you choose to place your focus, quantum energy immediately flows, collapsing invisible wave potentials into solid physical particles. When a plan completely falls apart, the greatest, most devastating mistake you can possibly make is to continuously fixate your attention on the wreckage. By constantly analyzing what went wrong, repeatedly recounting the sad story of your failure to others, and obsessing over the unfairness of it all, you are violently aiming your immense creative power backward. You are literally resurrecting the dead timeline and feeding it your precious life force. To securely lock in your position on the new, better timeline, you must boldly and ruthlessly withdraw your entire focus from the fallen plan. Starve the old reality of your attention. Look strictly forward. Aim the powerful laser beam of your consciousness exclusively toward the feelings, visions, and ideas of the magnificent new life you are stepping into. The very moment you remove your observation from the breakdown, it ceases to hold any power over you whatsoever. It dissolves entirely back into the infinite sea of potential, freeing up massive amounts of energy that you can now use to rapidly build your magnificent future. This brings us perfectly to the profound, mind-bending paradox of pure intention. To navigate the quantum field effectively, you must hold a crystal-clear vision of your ultimate desire, while simultaneously having zero attachment to the exact method of its arrival. This is exactly where your previous plan failed. You became entirely obsessed with the how. You mistakenly dictated to the universe the precise, logical sequence of events required for your success, essentially putting the infinite, boundless field into a tiny, suffocating box. When the field desperately needed to deliver your desire through a vastly superior, much faster route, it had absolutely no choice but to shatter your restrictive box. The destruction of your plan is a divine invitation to release the how completely. Your only job as a creator is to firmly anchor the what and the why, to fully embody the feeling of the wish fulfilled. Leave the highly complex logistics and the intricate details to the infinite intelligence of the universe. When you completely detach from the specific pathway, you allow the cosmos to beautifully surprise you. You allow massive miracles to occur. The universe's plan for you is always infinitely more beautiful, perfectly orchestrated, and deeply fulfilling than anything your logical human mind could ever possibly construct. Understand completely that the chaotic dismantling of your life was simply the final, necessary stage of your own internal upgrade. You have spent many months, perhaps even years, doing the deep inner work. You have meditated, cleared old traumas, and relentlessly raised your personal vibration. You specifically asked the universe to transform you into a vessel capable of holding massive abundance, profound love, and unshakable inner peace. The universe clearly heard you. But to truly upgrade your energetic signature, the old structural scaffolding of your previous life had to be violently stripped away. The universe directly tested your resolve. It asked if you were truly ready to let go of who you were, to finally become who you are destined to be. By bravely enduring this sudden collapse without losing your fundamental faith, you have answered the field with a resounding yes. You have definitively proven that your new frequency is stable. You are no longer an energetic match for struggle, painful compromise, and smallness. You have successfully anchored the vibration of the new Earth directly within your own cellular memory. The painful shedding of the old skin is fully complete. You stand now, incredibly radiant and energetically pristine, fully prepared to receive the breathtaking reality that is rushing toward you right now. You are now firmly standing at the very threshold of your brand new timeline. The dust of the old, broken reality is finally settling, and the brilliant, glowing horizon of your new life is rapidly coming into sharp focus. The plan completely falling apart was never, ever a failure. It was the most magnificent, loving, and precise quantum intervention you could have ever possibly asked for. It was the cosmic course correction that completely saved your life from the trap of mediocrity. Step forward into this new, expansive space with absolute, unshakable confidence in your heart. Do not look back at the shattered pieces of your past with any regret or sorrow. Instead, look at them with immense, overwhelming gratitude, honoring the vital role they played in pushing you rapidly toward your ultimate awakening. You are the sole observer, the brilliant architect, and the undisputed master of the field. You now possess the conscious awareness to mold reality intentionally, fluidly, and entirely joyfully. Embrace the great unknown, for the unknown is exactly where all spectacular possibilities reside. Your consciousness has profoundly shifted, the quantum wave has successfully collapsed, and your new, extraordinary life is no longer just a distant probability. It is your absolute, undeniable, physical reality. Welcome home to the timeline of your highest destiny. When all the illusions of the material world fall away, the ultimate truth is brightly revealed. You are not merely existing inside a pre-made reality. You are reality itself, observing and experiencing its own infinite potential. The collapse of your carefully laid plans was never a punishment or a failure. It was the magnificent, undeniable power of your own consciousness, forcefully intervening, pulling you out of a stagnant timeline and thrusting you into a breathtaking new reality where your highest destiny can finally unfold. You are the master creator, and your observation commands the unformed universe. If this message resonated deep within your soul, and you are fully ready to claim your new timeline, please like this video, subscribe to the channel, and firmly anchor your intention by typing this exact activation phrase in the comments. I am the observer creating my reality. I want to know, what specific signs, sudden shifts, or strange synchronicities have you noticed in your own life recently as your old plans fell away?